for more details about the Mow Down Air Pollution Program and how to clean up the air we breathe.
in another year of drought. Every drop is precious. Mandatory conservation will save the water we need if we all do our share. Use a broom instead of a hose to clean driveways and sidewalks. Wash your car only with a shut-off nozzle. Fix water leaks immediately. Choose drought-tolerant plants and run your sprinklers only on Mondays and Thursdays before 9 a.m. or after 4 p.m. The future of LA is in our hands. And that's a good thing.
You think it can't happen to someone like you?
Are you crazy? It could happen to anyone.
Knowing can save your life, or the life of someone you love.
Hey, it's free. It's painless and easy. Don't be scared. Just get tested.
Know for sure. Get an HIV test now.
Springtime brings flowers in bloom, birds chirping, and the smell of freshly cut grass. But before you mow your lawn again, think about this. Each year, your gas-powered lawnmower may be polluting as much as one new car driven for thousands of miles. How can you prevent the smog that's produced literally in your own backyard? With AQMD's Mow Down Air Pollution Program, you can trade in your old polluting gas-powered mower and save hundreds of dollars on a brand new battery-powered mower. Weekend drive-through exchange events make it easy and convenient for you to trade in and trade up. And because your new mower is electric, it creates zero emissions. Now that's something you can breathe easy about. Visit aqmd.gov for more details about the Mow Down Air Pollution Program and how to clean up the air we breathe.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the City Council meeting for the 18th of May, 2010. We're here in the John Ferraro Council Chambers, room 340 of City Hall, where we meet every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. I want to welcome the members of the public who are here with us today. Thank you for joining us, as well as our viewers on Channel 35, which through our Information Technology Agency broadcasts these meetings live for all of the citizenry of Los Angeles through the city's cable system on Channel 35. They also rebroadcast these meetings in the evening if you can't catch it during the day. We're also available through two other media through your computer. If you visit our city's homepage, lacity.org, where there is a wealth of information on city services and departments and ways to improve the quality of your life here in Los Angeles. But there's also a link to a live webcast of all of our council meetings. We also archive all of our past council meetings for your convenience as well. Also online are our agendas, which are available here in council chambers or in person. Those agendas are made available 72 hours in advance or 24 hours in advance for our special meeting items. Those agendas detail the items that we vote on here in City Council, and online we attach to those files all of the supporting material that council members read as well. Finally, you can always use your telephone and call into 213-621-CITY and listen to the proceedings on your telephone. We do have a quorum, which is 10 members or 2/3 of our 15-member body. So, Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll, we'll begin the meeting.
Alarcon, Cardenas, Han, Weezer, Kretz, Krikoyan, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Westenstein, Garcetti, 11 members present, and a quorum, Mr. President.
First order of business, please.
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Parks moves and Mr. Weezer seconds. Without objection, they'll be approved. Next order of business.
Amendatory resolutions for approval.
Ms. Han moves and Mr. Weezer seconds. If we can, next order of business, excuse me.
Mr. President, this is Tuesday, and there is a flag salute.
I could ask everybody in council chambers to please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Weezer, would you be kind enough to lead us?
Happy to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Weezer. If we can run through the items that are on today's agenda, and then we will come back to take our general public comment following that. So, colleagues, if I could direct your attention to the agenda, we'll go through these items and see if there's any to call special. First items, please.
First items are items for which public hearings have been held, items 1 through 3. Item 1, no action is required on that item.
Okay. No action on 1. Anybody wishing to speak on 2 or 3? If not, let's go ahead and open the roll on 2 and 3. Close the roll and tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Okay. And we'll add Mr. Krikorian to that. He was here for those votes, so we'll make sure you're recorded on those as well. Next items, please.
Next items are items for which public hearings have not been held. Items 4 through 7, 10 votes are required for consideration.
If there's no objection, we'll now consider those. We do not have any cards on those items. Anybody wishing to call those special, 4 through 7? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on items 4 through 7. Please open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Those are approved. Next items, please.
Next items on the supplemental agenda are items also for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration, and there are no cards on those items.
Okay, there's no cards, so we'll close the public hearings. Is there any objection to considering those? If not, those are before us. If nobody would like to be heard on those, let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
All right, those are approved. We'll now go to our public comment for items that are not on the agenda today. Mr. Zine, did you have an introduction?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Mr. Zine.
Thank you, Mr. President and colleagues. From Monarch Village in Tarzana, senior residents are here. Please stand. Seniors from Monarch Village joining us today. John Cantley, the concierge director from Monarch Village, brought the lovely seniors to visit us today in City Council chambers. They're going to have a tour of City Hall, and they're going to go to a restaurant that's 100 years old. Filippi's. They're going to go to Filippi's for lunch. And Monarch Village is in my district. It's a self-service senior community that encourages an independent and active lifestyle, and obviously active seniors that are here joining us today in City Council. So welcome to LA City Council all the way from Tarzana. God bless you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
And Mr. Labange needs to just correct one thing.
Madam City Clerk and Madam City Chair, I wanted to correct Mr. Zine, your fine councilman. It's not Felipe's, it's Felipe's.
Or Philippe's.
Well, when the sandwich falls, it's Felipe.
I hope Mr. Zine's buying you lunch. He would do that. He's such a fine councilman.
All right. We'll go now to our general public comment. This is for items that are not on today's agenda, but nevertheless under the jurisdiction of the city. Donna Pearman is our first speaker. She's in Van Nuys, and she'll be followed by Miriam Fogler. Good morning, Ms. Pearman.
Good morning. Anyway, the city council has no right to ban Arizona. We both need to take care of our borders so terrorists won't be slipping in from Mexico to here. What's the city council answer for it? And citizens will need to arm ourselves to keep ourselves safe from these terrorists. And city council, you want to privatize government, make it more expensive. You're destroying workers' morale. You gave DWP 2 pay raises. How's the rest of the city employees supposed to feel getting no cost of living in raises for quite some years now, and getting furloughs? You took money from the Northeastern Animal Shelter. You only knew how to do is steal money. You need to change your structural pay. Politicians shouldn't get paid. City council shouldn't get paid. You should serve us. It's not supposed to be a paid job. Let's change that. Let's go after the fat. We can make you pay more for your health care. Let's make you go on furlough. Make concessions. Why don't you stop the CRA? Stop building. Stop having so many projects. Your poor projects in the CRA, one of the biggest reasons we have such a deficit. You overspend our money while Rome burns. You say you care about city employees. All you want to do is hear yourself speak. If you really cared about them, you would just do it. All you do is pose for the cameras, Mr. Garcetti. Can you see how handsome and professional you look? But you all allow fraud and abuse in the name of affordable housing to continue. You allow the MTA spend millions on rail projects, but our buses are falling apart. My boyfriend and I were going to take a bus after waiting a half an hour. I turned around and we took a car. It's a joke. Take public transit. The places don't stay open all night. We can't be waiting for this public transit to come for us. So let's be for the city employees. No furloughs, no layoffs. Give them everything. They deserve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Pearman. Miriam Fogler is our next speaker. Good morning, Ms. Fogler.
You're causing division, divisiveness. Divided we conquered, united we stand. And for folks out there, the ones that they want to lay off, they want to use you as a vehicle against public unions, public workers. Because they want to get rid of middle class, they want to get rid of anything that helps the public to keep it neutral. Civil service is the only way to go, because you got corruption from the 1930s, folks. They had racketeering and a lot of corruption here at City Hall. Very bad. And it's the same thing going on today. You're allowing it to deteriorate the city employees' rights here? You can't. Don't let it out of your hands, because you're going to end up spending more money, paying more, privatizing government, because you won't have transparency here. You won't have open government, and I guarantee it that they love to get rid of the public employees and public unions. They want to privatize everything and monopolize it and make everybody slaves. They don't want capitalism in this here. They want communism. These people don't care about securing our borders. They don't care about securing the public transit that they're proposing. $40 billion, so vote against it. Have Congress, call your Congress people, tell them don't vote for it. It's going to cost $2 trillion. It's nationwide. It's going to kill the United States government. It's going to kill us all to put this through that mayor, that crazy mayor that you have over here at City Hall. Get rid of him now, because he is out of his mind. That we're going to take more cuts and structural cut savings? No way. You need to do it. You take structural cut savings on your end, not us, because we only make, we're middle class people. You people make $200,000 more. And DWP employees, beware, because if you don't help us now, you're going to be hearing from me. You better stand up to the plate and help us to save us from these people who are trying to do us in for pension and our health care.
Thank you, Ms.
No
Fogler.
more.
Thank you. Marlene Rader is our next speaker. here in council chambers, and after that is Vanessa May. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, members of the committee. My name is Marlene Rader. I am a stakeholder and a member of the Community Alliance for Open Space. We are a grassroots effort that includes more than a dozen community groups and neighborhood councils. I support the idea of the truck driving training school, but not at the location of the Lopez landfill. This is not about jobs. This is a land use issue that sets a dangerous precedent for the state's open space zoning laws, and the zoning administrator erred in her findings. I urge that when this variance is brought to the members of the the City Council, that you support our appeal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Vanessa May is our next speaker. After that is Linda Hornick. Good morning.
Good morning, council members. My name is Vanessa May. I'm a resident of Lakeview Terrace in CD7. Today, I would like to appeal to the council. When the upcoming appeal in the Lopez Canyon zone variance comes up, please grant the appeal. Please help to preserve open space. I am not against the truck driving school. I'm just against its location at Lopez Canyon. If this is about bringing jobs to Lakeview Terrace, bring needed jobs, maybe through the new enterprise zone that's being brought to the valley. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. May. Linda Hornick is our next speaker. After that is William Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning, City Council members. I live in Lakeview Terrace near the southern border of the Lopez landfill. I'm a member of the Community Alliance for Open Space, and I support their appeal of the Lopez truck driving training school variance. The city's general plan recognizes the need for open space, and so did Councilman Alarcon when the Lopez landfill closed to incoming trash in 1996. Its restoration to open space was welcomed by our community. Today, almost 14 years later, proposed park and trail amenities for the landfill's lower boundaries nearest the community are still proposed, yet remain unfunded by Council District 7. Instead, without looking anywhere else in the valley, the city's variance process is being manipulated and abused to carve an industrial 1.5-acre parcel from the open space zoned landfill's upper deck. Meanwhile, correctly zoned alternative sites and potential partners for job training schools exist nearby, but they are ignored. Please do not compromise open space in the long term and ignore community concerns for the sake of temporary political convenience. I urge you all to support the variance appeal and keep open space open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. William Taylor is our next speaker. After that is Dr. Clyde Williams. Good morning, sir.
As a European American, I am appalled by the acts and actions of the City Council took last week in regards to Arizona SB 1070. The vote you took and the acts you did can only be justified through racism and bigotry. Your vote clearly shows that this council holds a prejudice that European Americans are incapable of complying with and enforcing federal laws that are decades old without exhibiting extreme racism and bigotry. The Supreme Court in 1975, 35 years ago, ruled that the law at the heart of SB 1070 was not unconstitutional, was not racial, and if enforced exactly as SB 1070 requires, cannot be called racial profiling. Your vote has sent a message to the entire world that the city of Los Angeles and its mayor is nothing more but harboring the same blind prejudice and bigotry that we saw in the 1950s and 1960s in the South in this country. It is my fervent hope that Europeans and European Americans and businesses all around this world will think long and hard before they do business with, come to, or support this city in any way. And I leave all of you with one single thought. How are you going to explain to your constituents how it is that you are all right for you to harbor racist prejudice while you stand there and say how bad and critical it is. That vote you took could not be based on anything else but prejudice and bigotry. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dr. Clyde Williams, and after that is Candido Maras. Good morning, sir.
Dr. Clyde Williams, 4115 Barrett Road, El Sereno, Northeast LA, CD 14. Yesterday was an eventful evening, afternoon, morning. Thank you very much for all of your participation, but it reminded me of CEQA's piecemealing. This is only one more year, and now we don't have much in the way of reserves left. A lot of people have gotten laid off. What's going to happen in a year from now, and 2 years from now, and 3 years from now? The CAO and the CLO told you what's coming up. So here we go again. It's going to be the same thing next year. You might start a little bit earlier, like 6 a.m. rather than continuing until 11. So, piecemealing. The budget. We're still trying to figure out what will happen to the neighborhood councils. And I might say again, there's been a lot of references to the volunteerism and how that can help the city over the next couple of years. Well, you already have 90 volunteer organizations of at least 15 to 20 people giving up their time and energy throughout the month and years that they're in office. So, and the people that come and try to petition their local governments to help them. Now, all of this is good volunteerism, but to keep emasculating it, to take out its power, to give it over to the community development department seems strange, and especially when the CRA chief operating officer is going to take charge of it. What's going to happen? Are the neighborhood council is going to become just another section of the CRA? I don't know.
Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. Candido Maras is our next speaker. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President, council members, and thank you very much for all the hard work that you've been doing on the budget. Today we will, as members of the CUP Committee, Citizens Unit for Participation in Housing and Urban Development, we will be discussing our budget. To my left is Becky Benison, and to my right is Bill Hubert, who have been longtime members of the CUP. If you took all the time that all of our members have together, we have served for over 100 years. Ms. Elma Woods from the 8th District, who represents Mr. Parks. Mr. Parks, she's been a member for almost close to 30 years. So, again, we are individuals who represent the city because we have no boundaries. What happens in your district, Mr. Garcetti, affects all of us in the 12th District and the 3rd District. So we hope that today, as we have discussion on what the future of the CUP, that we'll have support from this council, because I just don't understand why you would want to give up your choice to put someone on a committee, whether you choose to or not. It's your choice, but to take that choice away and give it to one individual, we have concerns about that. And again, our main focus is to serve the entire city. So again, at 11:30 up on the 10th floor, room 1025, we will be discussing the future of the CUP. And again, thank you folks for your kindness and for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Morrison. Thank you for your service, all three of you. That will close our general public comment. Do we have any other business before us? Madam Clerk? Do we have any?
Council has motions for posting and referral.
Those are posted and referred.
And there are excuses on the desk. Councilmember Reyes requests to be excused Tuesday, June 8th for city business that meets council policy.
Okay, he is excused.
Councilmember Wesson requests to be excused Friday, July 2nd for personal business that meets council policy.
He is excused.
And Councilmember Zine requests to be excused August 17th and 18th for personal business that meets council policy.
Okay, he is excused as well.
And that clears the desk.
All right, do we have any announcements, colleagues? We don't have any announcements. Could I ask everybody to please rise? And colleagues, we are joined today by some of our finest city employees who are here with us to honor the memory of a man who I think all of us had the opportunity to know and work with, Michael Leighton. And Mr. Cardenas, as the chair of our ITGA committee, was going to help in this memorial. He unfortunately is a little bit ill this morning and couldn't be with us, so he gives his very strong regrets and his deepest sentiments to the entire print shop, who do an extraordinary job serving the city and the people of Los Angeles. And I've asked Mr. Labange, who knew Michael very well as well, to Mr. Smith. I'm sure we're going to hear from some of the co-workers as well, but I'd like this adjourning motion to have all members on it. But Mr. Labange, if you will walk us through his life and his memory.
Well, thank you very much. I am joined by the General Manager of our General Services Department, Tony Royster, and his management team, as well as all those who work at our print shop. And the city of Los Angeles has a great print shop. But one of the great reasons why it was so successful is because of Mike Layton. Michael Layton really loved his job. To be the city printer is is a very special title that he took. And the extra interest that he took in his job to find out the history of our printing company. You know, we go back to back to Benjamin Franklin on the type and the printing press and all of that stuff in time and how it affected all of our lives and culture. But Mike Layton was a city printer and tragically lost his life to a heart attack on the 7th of May. He had his services last week where they were celebrating his life. It is in Calvary Chapel in Garden Grove, California. He oversaw the largest print shop in the state of California. This print shop did work not just for Los Angeles, but other government entities as well. And the quality of printing was excellent. Michael's publishing services have been serving the printing needs for this city for over 100 years. As a city employee, Michael went above and beyond the call of duty to provide quality service. And if not yourselves personally, council members, I'm sure your deputies knew him well and knew what job he did as he marched through the large print shop in Piper Tech to get the work done that was necessary. For every elected official throughout the city, Mike was one of the people you met with when you arrived at City Hall, and his staff worked closely with you to develop the printing needs that you would need in your stationery and business cards and all the other works that were there. In his time that he served over the past 35 years, his father was a linotype operator with the Los Angeles Times. He had a variety of positions in printing, as well as with the United California Savings Bank, Hutton Weston Foods, as well as Chief of Reproductive Graphics for the County of Orange and Reproductive Specialist for the City of Beverly Hills. He is truly missed and was such a wonderful person. And I would go to Piper Tech, and I was personally, and some of you may know, was a printer in high school and at City College. I ran the press. To see all you brought back memories. But to see Michael, it brought, like you were seeing the maestro at the Hollywood Bowl, who conducted the fantastic operation of our printing services. And you would see initiatives that this city had and glorified color that they created with their artists that goes to the public to promote our park programs, our summer camps. Even Water and Power's publications would show the crystal blue waters of the Sierra Nevada flowing to bring water to the Pueblo. All of that was Michael's work, and he was tragically lost in life, and every day is an absolute blessing. And when I learned of his passing, I was shocked, and I thought of all of you and the family. And Tony, I just wanted to, on behalf of all of us, give a warm love to Michael and his family. This council appreciated his work greatly as a member of the city family, as the city printer. I'd like to ask Tony Royster to say a few words.
Thank you. Michael was a very, very special person to us, and he's going to be very, very difficult to replace. I had the opportunity to talk to his mother and also to his father, and they were very, very encouraged by the support that the city of Los Angeles provided. We had a number of people from the city to come to respect Michael in this particular situation. One good thing about Michael, no matter what the circumstances were, Michael always had a positive attitude. And one thing that we will never forget about Michael is that wonderful smile that he had. No, that's the last time I remember seeing that smile on his face, and we will miss him, and may God bless him, and may God keep him. Thank you.
Mr. Smith and then Mr. Zine, and I know some coworkers as well wanted to say a couple words as well, but Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to join my colleagues and say to the people of General Services that Michael was a real treasure of Los Angeles. When I came here now 30 years ago as a chief deputy, one of the first guys I got to know was Michael Layton, because the print shops, you live and die with what you're going out of your office. And as a chief deputy, I worked for years and years with the people over there. And when I became a council member, I told my chief of staff, Mitch England, there's a couple of people you got to know in the city. They're all in General Services. You got to know the guy that takes care of the office. You got to know the guy that gets fuel for your car, and you got to know Michael Layton, because you're going to call on him all the time to get things done in a rush sometimes. And every time we went there, no matter what it was, not only did we get the absolute top quality work. I mean, they do beautiful work over there, but it was done on time, and it's done when we needed it. And when we needed rushes, Michael saw that it got done. If we needed something really urgently, Michael saw that it got done. We've had a practice for a number of years now that Mitch did, and that we sent over a bunch of pizzas at Christmas time to the staff over there to say thank you for the work you do, but particularly for Michael. Michael was a true gem. He was somebody you had to know in the city if you want to be successful and get the word out to the people what you're trying to accomplish around here. And he would, when I got a message last week from Mitch saying that he had passed, I was absolutely shocked, and I talked to Tom, and neither of us could believe it. To believe that he's gone is a real tragedy for us, but to have the opportunity to have known him was a real blessing. God bless him.
Mr. Zine.
Thank you, Mr. President. I first met Michael after my election. There was an open house, and every year they have an open house at the print shop. And that's when I went to the open house. He took me on a tour, and years after that, I'd meet him at the annual open house. In fact, I just got a card recently, another open house, and as soon as I saw that, I thought of Michael. But always gracious, very proud of his staff, very proud of the work product that was generated from the print shop, and he was a very, very dedicated city employee. He obviously passed early in life, and he has so much to accomplish, his accomplishments, and the crew that's here from General Services that all worked with him, and his leadership obviously inspired so many people. But he showed me the equipment, the state-of-the-art equipment, and how they're so competitive with the private print sector, and so proud of the employees that he managed for so many years. Just a wonderful man, very gracious. And as soon as I'd walk up, Councilman, let me take you for the tour. So he's going to be sorely missed. He has a lot, big shoes to fill over at the print shop. But to all the folks that are part of that, we understand your loss, compassion for that, and sympathy for his family. And Michael, may he rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Labange.
Also, a great thing about a print shop, they have great workers. And this is a big worker who runs a big press. And he's a wonderful resident of Los Angeles whose son played at Pan Pacific Park, so we had fun times on the sidelines talking. But Walter Griffin is going to speak on behalf of the printers, pressmen, and all the workers at the print shop.
Good evening, Council. I'm speaking on behalf of the print shop. Michael Layton was our leader. He fought for us to keep us open. Many times you guys had to make decisions to make these budget cuts, but Michael was there to fight for us. I just want to say that we, as Michael's, Layton's workers, we do it the best job we can possibly do. You find it in your heart and in your budget to keep fighting for us, to keep us open, and he would appreciate that very much. Thank you very much.
I just want to say, the city printer, Michael Layton, was truly a very special human being. And I'm proud Mr. Garcetti, Mr. Cardenas arranged for all of you to be here. The city does appreciate you, and we'll all fight for our print shop, because there's nothing like a printer, and there was nothing like Michael Layton. Thank you, Mr. Garcetti. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. We'll make sure all members are attached to that adjourning motion, and thank you for being here, and thank you for the incredible work that you do as well. Are there other adjourning motions? Mr. Weezer.
Mr. President, and our condolences go out to Michael, and thank you very much to the print shop for all the wonderful work you do. I would also like to adjourn today in memory of two very passionate young women who committed their young lives to advocating for the Federal DREAM Act immigrant rights, and social justice, and who unfortunately were taken too soon from us in a car accident in Maine this past Saturday. Cynthia Felix, 26, graduated from UCLA in 2007 with a degree in English and Spanish literature and was the first undocumented student to attend Columbia University's School of Public Health. She wanted to become a doctor and serve her community. Tam Tran, 27, graduated from UCLA in 2006 with a degree in American Literature and Culture and was pursuing a PhD in American Civilization at Brown University. She was a talented filmmaker whose film, Lost and Found, details the plight of undocumented students in the United States. Arriving in the U.S. as young children, they came to find that they were undocumented when they applied for college and learned they didn't have a Social Security number. Despite obstacles and financial hardships, both had a strong desire to continue their education despite their precarious immigration status. Perhaps someone else may have given up, but we're told that not Cynthia or Tam. Instead, they formed part of IDEAS, Improving Dreams, Equality, Access, and Success at UCLA, a group dedicated to helping AB 540 students find guidance and assistance in their pursuits for higher education. At Brown, Tam also founded the Brown Immigrants' Rights Coalition to address the challenges faced by undocumented students. Tam took her cause to our nation's capital and testified before Congress on the issue of undocumented students and became a resounding voice for thousands of students just like her. Colleagues, just last week we passed a motion to boycott Arizona for passing what the international community has called a blatant act of racial profiling, which affects both citizens and non-citizens alike. And both these young women were part of that struggle to continue to make sure that we do not differentiate human beings and select them out because of their document status or what they look like. I know that they will be tremendously missed, and my condolences, thoughts, and prayers go out to their family and friends. Let us remind ourselves that while we may debate legislation in this room, there are real people who are affected by our actions and our inactions. May God bless them. And I've been told by some of their friends that they are truly, aside from their activisms, just beautiful human beings, and they really valued their friendships with people, and they cared for those who are less fortunate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Parks and then Mr. Rosendahl.
Mr. President, I have two adjourning motions. Excuse me. First of all, I'd like to ask that we adjourn in memory of Frederick Robert Banks, who's the father of retired LAPD Deputy Chief Ronald Banks, and also retired from the Inglewood Police Department as the Chief of Police. Frederick was born in Galveston, Texas in 1920. He was raised excuse me, by his grandmother and 6 aunts. After graduating from Central High School, he was married, had his first child, Ronald. He then moved to Los Angeles, where he then had 2 children, Freddie and Patricia. In 45, he joined the U.S. Navy. After being discharged from the Navy, he joined the L.A. Police Department as an emergency appointee. Following a brief stint as a traffic officer, he was assigned to Newton Detectives, where he became legendary as a homicide detective. Noted for his considerable skills, Frederick and his partner integrated the Wilshire Division Detective Bureau, a commentary on the state of the department at that time. He retired from LAPD as a detective sergeant in 1962 and began a new career at the California Department of Justice as a supervising special agent, Department of Enforcement. After his second retirement, he became immersed in volunteer organizations, where he was an active traveler's aid representative at LAX, an Urban League Michael Milken tutor. He also served the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Commission on Education and Violence Against Women. He remains really vital and independent to his death. He's survived by his brother Joseph, and he leaves his wife and 2 daughters and a variety and a host of relatives. Also, ask that we adjourn in memory of James Melvin Dixon, who was born 1952 in Mississippi, and he was the son and also an inspiring brother to 9 siblings, and an uncle to 18 nieces and nephews, and a great uncle to 13 other nieces and nephews. He a graduate of Manual Arts High School in Los Angeles, He furthered his education by earning an AA degree in electrical engineering at LA Trade Tech. Began taking courses towards his bachelor's degree in industrial engineering at Long Beach State. Although he did not have children, he was a father figure for all of his siblings and his nephews and nieces. The one thing that he was admired is his willingness to seek knowledge, and he also was viewed in the family as one of their intellectual scholars. In addition to that, he was enjoyed watching sports. He was enjoyed also debating politics, and these were two of his favorite subjects. He was constantly involved with certain newspaper articles, watching Meet the Press, CNN, and listening to several news radio networks throughout the day. He also was very religious, and the family estimates that he read the thorough Bible at least 6 times. And he certainly left a great legacy amongst his family members. His services were held on Monday, and he's the brother of my Chief of Field Operations, Christine Dixon.
Thank you, Mr. Rosendahl.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. First, my regards to all of you for your condolences for the loss of Michael. And we realize that all we do have is the moment, be it a young lady in her 20s or Michael. This is a gentleman by the name of Howard Matlow. He's a native of Los Angeles. Howard passed away on Saturday, May 8th, at the age of 80. He was the brother-in-law of my deputy, Jim Horowitz, and his wife, Shanna. He is survived by his wife, Marlene, and his daughters, Stephanie and Linda. Howard was founder and president of the Matlow Kennedy Corporation, which was one of the leading commercial industrial real estate agencies in Los Angeles. The agency was instrumental in heavy growth periods of downtown Los Angeles during the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Among the many properties that he helped develop was Union Bank, Security Pacific Bank, the Park at Figueroa, the Edison property, which became the Library Towers, and Southern California Gas Company. Matlow Kennedy was the main developer of Bunker Hill, and they were the co-developers of the World Trade Center. They were early fighters for safer high-rise buildings by pushing the idea of using sprinkler systems to prevent fires. Howard mentored many of the young salespeople who worked for the company, and his mentoring played a role in their future accomplishments. He was respectful and respected by those he worked with and loved by all those who knew him. May he rest in peace.
Thank you. Do we have any? Sorry, Mr. Kretz.
I rise to adjourn in the memory of another city employee, Janice Wynn, a senior clerk typist in the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division. Ms. Wynn was born in Detroit, Michigan, and recently celebrated her 60th birthday. She's been a member of the city family since 2003, faithfully serving both the Commission on the Status of Women and the Urban Forestry Division for a combined total of over 7 years. Ms. Wynn was well liked by her colleagues throughout the Department of Public Works and will always be remembered for her service and dedication to the City of Los Angeles. So on behalf of the city, our sincerest condolences are extended to the Wynn family.
Let's put all members on that as well. If there's no other adjourning motions, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll? We'll next be in session tomorrow. That's Wednesday at 10 a.m. Thank you again to our print shop employees for being here and taking the time to be here, as well as our visitors. Be safe, and we will next meet